Welcome to the Coaching Life Podcast, Season 14. I'm Pat Martin, here with my friend Chris Stewart on a chilly Athens campus.
It is a chilly day.
Arctic blast, as I hear, is coming through the area, so that's why it's so cold.
So did you hear about what we're supposed to get this weekend?
I heard it was going to be bad, but then when I looked at the models, I was just seeing 4 inches.
Well, I think it's 4 inches, or like 1 to 3 on Saturday. So for those of you that are listening to us from down south, we're supposed to get snow this weekend here in southeastern Ohio. Yeah, right.
It happens when it's cold. So
It's like 3 inches on Saturday, and then when you look at between Saturday night and Sunday, another 1 to 3, or another 4 to or 2 to 4. I don't know.
Maybe I was just saying Saturday's forecast and not the whole.
Yeah.
But yeah, I heard it might be pretty bad. So we'll see if it's going to mess with our open gyms.
Open gyms, but also here's the wild thing. No matter what weekend, like this week is the Ohio High School Baseball Coaches Association.
Oh, that's
clinic.
True. It always snows.
It does.
Yeah.
It snows every year at this thing.
It does.
And the date is even later in January this time, and it's wild. It's like every time they schedule this on, it's the second day, like Saturday or Friday, I think between Friday and Saturday, and it just depending on what time it rolls in. I mean, guys start checking out pretty early.
I remember a few years, maybe the first year that I went, it was pretty bad coming in on that Thursday.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it was. Because when we got there, yeah, it was like an icy snow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that. If I can
Me
get
too.
over this head cold that I have. I don't know. I feel like I'm going to be sick perpetually for the rest of my life. I can't get over it.
I think this year's going to be the I'll just say this out loud. I think this year has the potential to be the best speaker lineup that OHSBCA has ever put together. I really do.
But they're talking on Friday night.
You're correct. Some of the best speakers are talking on Friday night. That's the truth. That's the truth.
I'll be in Albany.
Coaching basketball.
Yeah. The alley in Albany.
Alexander.
Yes. Yeah. That's where we're going Friday night. So I'll be heading out after the Southeast District meeting and heading home. So I did notice too that our district meeting was later in the day. Usually it's in the morning, and then we go to our mini sessions.
Yeah, it's going to be like 11:50, 12 o'clock, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So, yep, looking forward to it. See how many cramps my hand can get.
Oh yeah, it's a writing. It's a note-taking extravaganza.
Yeah. What are we talking about today, Coach?
Well, we have a really good friend. We have a mutual friend.
Yeah.
Who has been on our podcast before. He is also an author. Sorry, I just kicked some headphones off. They were stuck on my foot there. We do not use headphones anymore. We've gone professional. But
now we don't. Now I'm not looking at my own camera, so
that's true. We have a different camera setup.
Distracted by that either.
Yeah, I'm a little more distracted, but that's just, we'll explain that maybe some other time. So we have a friend named Steve Miller, and Steve is retired. He's been a longtime baseball coach and academic, and he was a head coach, I think, at Trimble for a bit. He's a longtime assistant with Coach Ferris, and not just Trimble High School, that whole community. You know, the Gloucester community and that part of our of the county here in Athens County. Steve was really heavily involved in developing baseball players in that area. I think he's one of those guys that I think worked a lot behind the scenes, and people didn't even realize that the reason why some of these Trimble young men could really play was because Steve was he was developing them. So yeah, Steve. I don't know. It was the week before Christmas, I think. We get this box, and we didn't know where it was from because we were getting boxes like crazy. And April's like, I'm not sure what that one is. So I opened it up, and there was a gift inside. The gift looked like this inside. You got yours?
I've already opened mine.
Yeah, mine are open too. I just wanted to show you this cool little bag. And then there's a little wooden.
Yep.
Like
yep.
a little. And so what they are. I'll let you demonstrate. You demonstrate while I explain what they are.
Yeah,
so, what we have here is.
I like this one. Right
watch
off
this,
the
Coach.
bat.
Watch this. I can. You can't see this, but I can zoom right in on those things. Yeah. So what this is these are trust your training cards. Now, it looks like
They're athlete mindset cards.
Athlete. Yeah.
Sorry, I
yeah.
didn't put the right one.
I was distracted because I'm reading this backwards because I believe that our new cameras are recording in mirror. So this isn't going to look great, but we'll find out. But anyway, they're desk cards is what they are. They're desk cards, and you know every day has a different just a reminder, I guess, if you're an athlete of what kind of mindset you want to have, or as a coach, what kind of mindset you want to foster in your athletes. It's just, I felt like these could be like a really cool, I guess, they can almost be 52 podcast episodes.
Oh yeah,
Really,
absolutely.
if you think about it.
Yeah.
But because you take a card and you read like the one you were showing there says it says trust your training.
Right.
And I can't read it. It says you've put in the reps and
Trust them. Confidence comes when you stop overthinking and let your preparation take over.
yeah.
This is very good. Very
Yeah.
good advice.
Yeah.
And if you don't feel like that in situations, we've already started using it as our podcast content. If you don't feel like that when you're in those situations, then you need to train harder,
Yeah.
train better, more efficiently.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of
That's just
cool.
Start.
Like I think you could almost like you could take these you could pick
Yeah.
one, say okay, here's this week's card because there's 52 in here, and there's 24, and then there's front and back, and so like one play at a time is this card. You don't have to win. You don't have to win the whole game just this moment. Reset fast, stay focused, and stack one good play after another. And then it'll even circle like certain words and break those down. Like you don't have to win the whole game. That word game is circled. And then game, don't carry the whole game, just dominate the next moment. Just like an extra little reminder there. It's pretty sweet.
Yep. Yeah, it is neat. You could use these for discussion during practices. Team
Yeah.
discussion.
Yeah.
Chalk
Good.
talk ideas.
Yeah, little post practice meeting. Every shoot you could do one a day.
Just hang the idea up inside your locker room.
Right.
Let your guys read
Right.
it on the way out.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's really cool. Really appreciate that, Coach Miller. If you're listening,
Oh, he is.
thanks a lot.
He is. Yeah, Steve is just constantly thinking about how to help others and constantly thinking about how to be the best he can be, but also how to help people be the best they can be, and dominating the positive mindset and helping athletes to understand that when you train your mind to believe a certain way about yourself and about what you're doing, that has a tremendous impact on everything else, your body and your performance. And
yeah, and we talk about, being mentally tough and how much time we commit that idea of, mental strength to our practices. And so something like this kind of gives you an easy way to incorporate things, in that model to your practices, and give your athletes something that they can think about. Just small thoughts like that. Thought about it, but it's like, which one do you start looking through? It's like, which one do you emphasize?
yeah,
There's not really something, it's not a list that you can really prioritize.
right,
You know what I mean?
right,
Maya's taking his he's going to be taking his permit test Thursday.
man.
Yeah. Maybe that's why I feel so cruddy. But they got this big book, laws and fines.
Yeah.
It's like, what parts do I read? Well, there's not a single part that you read. You got to know them. He's like, well, there's no way I'm going to know it front to back. So how do you encourage a kid? That's what sports are the same way. There's not a book. You can't read a book and immediately know everything about the sport that you play front to back.
Yeah.
But you take little pieces and chunks and you process them and you focus on them and think about them every day, and that's how you grow as an athlete, and I guess in this case I'm saying as a young driver. But
Right.
That was the answer. You just got to read it a little bit every day. Try to learn as much as you can before you go into that.
Yeah, you read a little bit every day, and then the more you drive, the more experience you gain, and sometimes you learn by experience. I liken it to the Bible's a big book as well. Do you have it all memorized?
Mm-mm. Very little, really. The Bible I have memorized.
Yeah, I confess the same. Yeah, I mean, I know where to find a lot of things in the Bible, and I can quote a number of scriptures. And sometimes I can quote a scripture and not tell you where it is, or I can.
Go ahead.
Yeah, but it's it's the same thing though. As you, the more you read it and the more you try to live it, the more you understand what that manual is asking of you, and how to align your life to it.
A lot of times I think this is relevant. A lot of times I think it's dangerous to just cherry pick a verse out of the Bible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's dangerous to do that in sports as well. So we have a lot of, you got hitting gurus and pitching instructors and things like that are out there saying, they have their kind of have absolutes that they say it's got to be this way, it's got to be that way. I think that's dangerous. So that's odd. I've never really thought about that before, but there's a correlation between the way that you approach things. Because there's context is important.
Yeah,
situations are important. If you reading a verse out of the Old Testament could have a different meaning depending on what you're trying to apply it to.
It's true.
Or when you're trying to apply it and what it meant when it was written and what it means now to us. So it's interesting. I never thought of it that way. That's true. We have a lot of people that are saying, well, if you want to be a great hitter, you have to do this. And that might be true. That might be true. Might be true for 99% of people. Yeah. It might be true for a lot less of a percentage of people, and they've just had success with it because of the people that came in, they worked with, they saw success through it. So they made that one of their kind of cornerstones of the thinking process, was as far as hitting or pitching or whatever goes. So it's interesting.
Yeah, let's stay on that metaphor here for a second.
Okay.
You got a favorite verse?
A Bible verse?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not asking you to quote it. I'm just saying, do you have a favorite? Or some favorites?
I mean, sure.
Yeah. I mean, I do too. And what I'm thinking here is, okay, is that the only verse? Do I focus just on that verse and try to... Is that what I talk about all the time, and is that what I do all the time? Is that what I or like you're saying, it's important to not just cherry pick and grab one thing, because it's the whole of Scripture is good for is for teaching and rebuke and for and for living, and it's important because to understand that, because it's also really, really important to interpret Scripture by the whole of Scripture as well, not just one verse at a time.
Very true.
And so what I'm thinking here is there are coaches who sometimes will have a favorite aspect of the game, whatever game they're coaching, or maybe not just a favorite, but maybe like something that they really understand better than others, right? Like maybe it's not a favorite verse, but a verse that you understand better than others, right? Like, oh, I get this, and so I talk about it all the time, or it's kind of my theme, you know.
Comfortable with it.
Yeah, you're most comfortable with it, and so I'm thinking, you know, sometimes people get really comfortable with certain aspects of the game that we coach, and we try to mold every kid into that. Like let's break it down to something small, like hitting. Like it's not small, but like something specific, like hitting. Years ago, you kept sending me video of your young kid, like when your kids were like 10, I think, or 11, and you're like, and everything was about bat drag. Like somebody had noticed that one of the kids had bat drag, and so we got to fix that. It's important to fix that. But then we started seeing bat drag in everybody.
Yeah.
Right. Like the bat is dragging through the zone, and it just causes lots of problems for baseball hitters. And so that became so much of a focus that you lost track of other things. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? Like that's what I'm talking about. It's easy to get focused on one thing.
Yeah. I mean, you know, with Jake, training him out of that bat drag made him a very robotic swinger for a period of time.
Oh wow, that was Jake. That was a long time ago, wasn't it? I was thinking it was Maya's team or whatever.
Oh no, you're right.
Kid. I mean, that particular example.
And you know what? I think it's happened more recently because I feel like most kids now. And this is I mean. I've argued with coaches about this before. You usually use a bat that's too heavy for them.
Yeah.
Especially when they're younger. And that kind of creates that problem because you got to kind of pull the bat through. You're lugging it through instead of being able to swing it and control the barrel a little bit.
The idea is that your elbows are getting your elbows are getting
mainly your back elbows leading
way out in front, and the swing. So if you're looking at the swing this direction, it's going to look like this as the kid's coming through.
Which to me it causes two problems. Primarily, one, your barrel dips going through the zone, so you'll have some weak ground balls to second base or pop ups, and then in order to hit it well, you got to be very far out in front of it. And a lot of times that's creating a foul ball or a pop up to left field. So it's kind of like those are two. And then the other thing
because you'll hook it, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You don't get your bat through the zone quick enough because it kind of drags behind you. So there's a timing issue there. And, it makes it more difficult to hit the ball well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was focused on that, and so much on it that break it down, fix it. And we fixed it, but then I realized we had created some other problems because we fixed that bat drag. So, yeah, it's just kind of an eye-opener for me. And now, I try not to focus. Like you said, a lot of kids have it. A lot of kids have that now.
Right.
You can see it very almost.
It seems like a youth ball thing.
So instead of just
your reasoning might be exactly why, with the bats being sometimes it's just too heavy.
Yeah. But I try to give some cues to help them, but not necessarily prescribe a program to get out of that bat drag. Yeah. So I think you got to slowly work your way out of it instead of trying to fix it immediately to make everything work together. But yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, I'm not sure why we made that point. How did that start?
It's
easy for us to get really focused on the actual topic and forget about the big topic.
The whole context and not focusing on a single verse or a single portion of the game as something that you're really going to coach. You're really going to focus on. because it honestly may be not true for everybody. And I have a kid right now that has bad bat drag in the high school program. We've tried to fix it. It's not fixed for whatever reason.
Yeah.
So now I'm kind of weighing the decision of, okay, do we continue to talk about that now? Is that something that we're going to talk about, or are we going to try to,
good point.
Maximize his potential as a hitter by having him focus on some other things? Anticipating, swinging, getting out in front of the ball, scooting up to the plate a little bit if you have to, things like that to kind of cheat it. So, because honestly, something like that to fix takes thousands and thousands of swings.
Yes.
You don't have that time to do that during practice, and at this stage,
A team coach,
right,
high school coach.
and at this stage, I feel like if I harp on it and continue to talk about it, it's going to hurt him mentally.
Mentally, yeah.
So, is there, what's the return on that? It's probably not very good at this point. So I'm gonna probably in the exit interview, you mentioned that again. Hey, you need to spend some time this summer trying to correct this, and let him swing away throughout the season, see what happens. So it's kind of where I'm at, I think.
How are things going for your? We're 33 days away from the start of baseball.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
I started filling out before we came in here. I noticed that I had an email from, it was like the third or fourth reminder email from, I don't even know who they come from. Is it PBR, Prep Baseball or something? Basically your team preview. You ever fill those out?
No, because I feel like the timing of it has always been horrible, and they want certain, like they kind of say, this is the type of player, like what's your varsity roster?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Who are your top prospects and things like that? We don't know what our varsity roster is.
Yeah. So I've never really got it. Kyle Weldon, is that who?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got that too.
I started filling it out, like, because
have you filled it out year to year? Like, have you ever? Is there anything?
I think I did last year, but
has it benefited any of your kids? Do you think?
Well,
that hasn't kind of done that on their own. I know
benefited. I would say. I mean, I don't know what the benefit is, but
Ethan Stewart was big in PBR. He had a PBR account and a profile and stuff like that. And they did, they followed him. And
I had a couple kids last year that asked me. Like, I had one ask me because obviously he was seeing those previews pop up on Twitter. Like, here's this school and here's this school, and he's like, "Hey, did you fill ours out?" And I said, "No, I might not." But then the more I thought about it, I was like, "Well, he's looking at it and everything, And so it's important to kids,
Yeah.
And so I did fill it out, but I left a lot of those questions blank because, and like they'll even have that that thing in the field that says, like, you try to submit it and you can't because you left this blank. And so I went back and said, I'm not answering this because I don't know.
So that took it as it got you through the requirement of
I actually put something in there for them. So
I have not gotten involved with the PBR stuff. Thought about it here and there.
Yeah, I mean they are the ones that put together the preview when you get to the regional, I think.
Oh, really?
Because they're like like some kind of a program or something. I don't know. There's some kind of partnership there, but the last 2 years that we were in the regional, I remember having to fill it out.
Yeah. I did get my email, so I know what email you're talking about. I was actually looking at it today, but yeah.
I'll tell you something funny. My first year of going to the regional tournament as a young coach, when I was at Athens, and they sent that out to fill it out. One of the questions, so you got a bunch of questions to answer, like, about your team and about, what to expect, what are you anticipating, about your opponent, and anything about them. And then one of the questions is, what do you think about the field?
Yeah.
Well,
where did you play your regional?
So you thought the same thing I did. And so I answered it like that. Well, because in Athens, we played our regional at Gant Stadium in Zanesville, which is a crap hole, to be quite honest. It was. It was. For those of you that listen to us from Zanesville, I apologize, but right? It's a crap hole, and at least it was then. My brother, I think, played on it last summer with his summer team, and Gavin did maybe, and he said, they've actually done some improvements here, but it wasn't just that the stadium was like that. It was poorly run by the site administrators. It was bad. I have some stories I could tell you about. I have one really, really bad. I think I've told it on this podcast before, actually. The story of our game was Steubenville. It had been Brock's senior year. Regional final. We were the home team, the highest upper seed. And because Steubenville had a better record than we did, like we were 24-2 or something like that, 24-3, and they were 25 and they had a better record. The guy comes out and he stops the game in the middle of the inning, in the middle of the first inning. Comes up to the umpire and he's like, "This is wrong. Athens should be the visiting team." Oh, it was. Have I not told you the story?
No.
Okay.
I mean, but what did the umpire say? I mean,
well, so the home plate umpire was the crew chief, and he calls us out. And he says, "Here's what he's saying." And I said, and Coach Hetherington from Steubenville looked at me and he's like, and so the umpire's like, "Hey, so apparently we got this wrong. So we got a couple of options here. One option is to continue the game from this point where it is. It was the top of the first. Steubenville had 2 outs and a runner on first. And he said, so we can continue the game here as it is, or we could swap dugout, start over, and Steubenville's the home team. So he looked at Coach Hetherington and he said, "Coach, what do you want to do?" And Fred goes, "I want to start the game over, of course. We want to be the home team."
sure.
And I'm standing there and I'm going, wait a second. Are we just going to take this guy's word for it? Because I'm pretty sure he's wrong.
Yeah.
This isn't right. And it spells out in the OHSAA rule book, who's the home team. Because it's usually like the top seed on the top team on the bracket all the way through a certain point or whatever.
Yeah. Well, I guess I don't know what happened, like if you were both ones or both threes.
Yeah. But it's like where you land on the bracket, I think, or something. I'm not sure how it. But
so was it right?
That's what it was. I think we were a 2 seed or a 1. We were a 1 seed. I don't know. I can't. It was a while ago, so I can't remember exactly why. But the guy was, and he convinced the umpire that this was right. And so the umpire's like, "Well, this is what we got to do. This is how we fix it." And I said, "No, wait a second. We need to get Jerry Snodgrass on the phone right now." And Jerry Snodgrass at the time was the president of the OHSAA and over baseball and the Rules Association. So by this time, the fans, Steubenville's fans are rowdy anyway, and then our fans are getting rowdy. People are yelling at each other because they're kind of getting wind of what's going on, and it's a mess. It's a flat out mess. And our kids are coming out of the dugout. Theirs are coming out of the dugout. I'm like, hey, just relax for a second. We're taking care of this, okay? And so we get Jerry Snodgrass on the phone. The umpire explains to him that the site administrator came out and we had a mistake or whatever, and Jerry's like, "Oh, well, yeah, you did the right thing. That's what we need to do." And I said, "Hang on, let me talk to Jerry. Let me explain." I said because this I want him to.
You're not telling the story. The story is you're not right.
Exactly. And so I actually get on the umpire's cell phone talking to Jerry Snodgrass, and I said, "Jerry, do you have the bracket in front of you? Are you in the rule? The regional rules?" And he said, "I'm getting it pulled up right now." And so he's pulling it up, and he goes, so I said, when we arrived here, I said, everybody, even Steubenville, knew and assumed that we were the home team. Like this, tell me what it says. because I'm not taking this guy's word for it. Because one, he's got a shirt on that says something like, "I didn't wake up stupid this morning. I let her sleep in," or something like that. And, you know, it was just, or it was some kind of sexual innuendo shirt. It was people. I mean, people were ticked about this. So anyway, Jerry's, you could hear him clicking away there, and he goes, "You know what, Chris?" He goes, "You're right. It's right. You guys are the home team." And I said, "Okay, tell your umpire in chief that, and then tell this bonehead that." You know, I don't know if I said that, but so he said, get the phone back to, I can't remember who it was, but he said so I gave the phone back to the umpire, and Jerry explained it to him. He's like, "Okay." He said, "Well, we'll carry on then." And so this was every bit of 20 minutes, a 20-minute delay.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, and so we, you know, the umpire in chief came back and he said, we're good. He said he said, "I understand why you assumed," he's looking at the site administrator, "I understand why you assumed that it was the other way around, but this is what the regional bracket does. It's something different than the district, right? You're thinking district, and there's different districts, and this is the regional. This is the way the regional is handled by the state, and this is how they're seated." And so we carried on, and I remember their leadoff hitter got on base. We got the next two kids out, and so there was
your pitcher had been setting for 20
we
minutes.
reset the inning. Yeah, our kids were on the field for that long, right? And so I finally, as I could tell this discussion was going to take a while, I pulled them off and told them to get in the dugout, get out of the sun, you know. And so we put them back on, and our pitcher got a chance to throw warm-ups. You know, they extended that courtesy. They scored 4 runs.
Wow. With 2 outs.
Yeah. Yeah, they ended up beating us 4-1. You know how we got our 1 run?
Bunt.
Opposite.
Solo.
Yeah.
Really? Who hit it?
Brock.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
I never heard that.
So if you read the epilogue of my book, Building Champions, that I tell that story there, because that's the ball he gave me.
Well, I don't remember that.
Yeah, that's the chapter that I
remember him giving you a ball.
That was it.
Did you spell that out? Did you explain that story?
I think I did. I think I did. It's the ball's in my office right now with the other game balls and things I've got. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
It's pretty cool.
Not cool, the situation, but
oh my goodness. Yeah. That's what
we do.
It was a mess. And you talk about, so, you know, and the first thing everybody wants to ask you afterwards, right, is did that impact, you know, the media, the guys talking to me after the game, did that impact? Actually, I think we ended up losing 7-1. They scored 4 in the first inning, but then we lost 7-1. Like, you know, so they beat us, right? But the first thing everybody wants to ask is, you know, how does that impact your players negatively?
Oh, I definitely would answer that for you and say it does impact the players negatively. I know you don't want to make excuses in that moment, but
no, you can't make an excuse that this has something to do with why we lost. But it obviously has an impact, and I think what I said was it impacts me negatively. Like I told Kevin back then, our sports reporter was Kevin Wiseman. I said, you know, to be honest with you, I was ticked the whole rest of the game, and so I know that it impacted my mentality.
Sure.
And so, and as a coach, your players will mimic you.
That's true.
You know, your mentality, your response to things, how you respond to adversity, how you speak to umpires, how you treat them, they're going to treat them the same way that you do. How you show up to a game and how you carry yourself, your body language and all, they're going to do the same thing that you do. And so I know that the last game I ever coached at Athens, that was a sore spot right there. The way that game.
I mean, you know, we talk about it. You try to overcome those things because you can't control it.
Yeah.
You know, but
yeah, you have to. You have to. I mean, you got to do the best you can to overcome. And here's I'll finish that story by saying this, and then I'll go back and answer the original question, the reason why we started that story. 2 years later, or a year later. It was the following year. No, it wouldn't have been a year later because I was out of coaching. I didn't go to the clinic because we're coming up on the OHSBCA clinic. Well, 3 years later then when it'd been 4 years because of my second year at Eastern, because my first year the clinic had already passed by the time I got hired. And so I'm at the baseball clinic. It was the first year they had it at Easton. They moved it from the Hyatt downtown to the Easton Hilton, I think is what it is. And I'm walking through the hallway, and Jerry Snodgrass, who was no longer, he retired, he was no longer with the OHSAA, was sitting there. He was just attending, sitting there in a couch. And he looks up, and I could tell that he looks at me, and he recognizes me, but I knew who he was. So I said, Mr. Snodgrass, I said, Chris Stewart. He goes, he goes, oh yeah. I said, from Athens. He goes, you don't need to tell me where you're from. I know where you're from. And he said, sit down here for a second. and he said, hey, I just want you to know that thing that happened in Zanesville a few years ago, I apologize from the bottom of my. He actually sent me an email after that, like right after it too. He said this was a mess, and he said I also want you to know we removed that site. They're no longer a regional site for Division II. So I'm like, oh, I appreciate that now. Thanks. Yeah.
We miss having Jerry Snodgrass.
I agree.
As the president of the HSA.
I agree. So, one of the questions on the questionnaire was, what do you think of the field?
Were they talking about, yeah, that's right. They talking about all the other teams?
They're talking about all the other teams.
Okay.
However, the way I answered it,
well, I'd answered it that way too. Did you? Well,
I was very diplomatic because I knew what that field was like.
Okay.
And I said, our team has never played there before, but I've been there, and it's a challenge because it's an old football stadium. It's a historic stadium. We're looking forward to it. I know our fans will be loud underneath the awning and all that. And I just, that's how I answered it. Well, then I receive a copy of the program, the state
There's nothing
program.
in it. Your answer's blank.
Oh no, my answers are in there. Everybody's answers. I'm reading all these coaches' answers, and I'm like, because there's 8 other coaches. Or 16 at that time, the Sweet 16. And I'm reading all their answers. I'm like, I'm an idiot.
I don't think so.
I was the only one that answered that question about the literal field of play, as opposed to the field of teams that are there. Like what do you think about the field of
all right,
of opponents that you're going to be facing?
But let's say this. I mean, what are you going to say? They're good.
Right. Well, that's what everybody's answer was pretty much the same. Everybody was like, you get this far, then you know what you're going to be facing. Everybody's ace pitcher is really good.
And absolutely. So, I don't know. I don't know. I would have thought about the field as well. I would have thought about it.
It was just kind of a funny,
especially as you're preparing for a game.
Well, that's the thing. I chalked it up to that because somebody jabbed me about it. One's like, they're like. That's pretty cool spin you put on that one question there, and I'm like,
you should have just went with that. Yeah. I didn't want to really.
I didn't want to have to talk about the opponents, We're just focused on ourselves,
Shoot.
But that's the way I put it. Like we're so focused on this game and on what we have to be and what we have to do that I didn't even think about what the answer should have been to that question. And the reality was. I was just
that might have been true.
I was just dumb.
That might have been true. I wouldn't have thought that.
Okay,
I don't think of the.
I appreciate that.
When I think of going into postseason, even as just in the district tournament, I would never call it the field. I would say our district is really strong this year.
Yeah.
But I would never think of it as the field. I think the only time I would use that is in betting terms of the NCAA men's basketball tournament.
The field.
Are you going to take
the field,
Kentucky or the field? That's it. That's the only way I would ever use that. So I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong too, but that's good stuff.
Yeah, I guess. So anyway, whatever our topic is.
Context is important.
Context is important.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. You got to go.
I do. I do.
Yep,
I have
yep.
to. I have to split. I have a meeting at 1. I got to get to. So.
Are you doing that here on campus?
Nah.
Okay. Oh, you got to get back home.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So to wrap this thing up, we
Appreciate the gift from
appreciate
Coach
the gift.
Miller.
Yeah, appreciate the gift, and we have a lot of good topics we could bring you. That's one thing Coach Miller did was he gave us a bunch of topics.
Yeah.
I also received some feedback, positive feedback on our last episode of the year, the
12 tips.
top 10 or 12 tips of Christmas. Yes, and people said that they like that fast pace, kind of going back and forth and getting a number of different tidbits of wise insight from Coach Martin, and they said, yeah, you guys should do more of that kind of stuff. So I was gonna mention that to you, that here there's an idea.
Request granted.
From some
we'll make
listeners.
sure we do that.
Yeah.
We might even do it with some of these.
Yeah, I think that's one way we could use those, So, because we know very well here that I said that 33 days is when practice starts. That's when we start getting a little harder to connect when the baseball season starts. So,
Yeah, that's true.
yeah. So yeah, we'll try.
Yeah, we might be all right for a little while.
Yeah. I mean, it is the work day.
Should be fine with it up until about May 15th.
Is that when we play?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Shoot, that's good. I forgot we played each other late in the season again. That means I'll have a whole bunch of spray charts that I can
Right, yeah. We're not using Game Changer this year. Straight huddle.
Not going to use it?
Straight huddle.
Are you really?
I don't know. I don't know.
That's an
We'll see what happens.
Yeah. We are using Huddle,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, we're gonna
we'll
do
have
that for sure.
I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna try the Huddle Assist with our scrimmages to see how it works out.
Yep. You could submit, if you could upload it to Huddle, you could submit a game for last year.
Yeah, we put a few in there. Brock did. I should use one of those to see
Send it off. If you have the package, they should cover it.
Yeah.
I don't know how long it takes. It takes about 24 hours to get a basketball game in.
Yeah, they said it's actual humans that are doing the work, so it's not an AI feature yet.
Yeah.
So, yeah. The thing that I'm thinking about is like at our field, setting up a camera on the fence. It's going to be pretty easy to score that because you can see it. Our fence is close. Yours is close as well. But there are some fields where you go to Warren where it's a net and the net's a little bit loose, and Gaia has a net, and some of those schools the fences. Alexander is really far back. Athens is really far back.
Yeah.
If you don't have some kind of a zoom or a feature or whatever, it might be hard to see what's going on.
Yeah. Just have to see how it works out.
Yeah.
But we'll still keep a book for sure.
We always keep a paper pencil book anyway.
Yeah, we do too.
Yeah. What I like about Game Changer is everybody's using it now. Everybody except Southern, and like that. I think last year they were the only team that we played that didn't use it. And but when other teams use it, you just go and you scan their their lineup. If they've got their once they've got their lineup in, you just add it.
Yeah, that is nice.
It's really handy for the scorekeeper.
Yeah. Yep.
Cool.
We'll see what it's like.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. See you next week, Coach.
Yep. We will see you next week.